All right, ladies and gentlemen, the 5-1 notes. Sorry I'm out today. Please follow along with the notes and do what you're supposed to do today. All right, so first of all, at the top here, when it says tell whether the ordered pair of the solutions is linear equations, your answer here is going to be yes or no. Okay? If you plug it in and you get two things that are equal, then it's a yes. If you plug it in and you get two things that are not equal, it's a no. So like for instance, remember when we used to label these x and y, right? We a lot of times label them x1, y1, but really what I want you to get is x comes before y in the alphabet, so label your points. And in fact, I'm going to go do it on this one, and this one as well. Okay. Now with that, you're going to plug x into x and y into y. So, for instance, for this one, I'm going to plug 2 into x, and I'm going to plug 5 into y, and if that equals the other side, I'm going to put a check for yes. I need both of these to be checks to be a yes. If even one of them is a no, it's no, right? So let's check the other one. Remember, a number next to a letter means multiply, so I'm going to plug 2 in right here as 2 times 2. I'm going to plug 5 in right here as minus 3 times 5 equals negative 11. And I probably got to use a calculator to figure out that 4 minus 15, sure enough, is negative 11. And so that checks, and because I have 2 checked, the answer is yes. Okay? For this one, again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to plug 0 in for y. Be careful where you're plugging it in, right? This is the x that goes into the x spot. So 0 into the y here equals negative 2 times negative 2 minus 4. And I plugged in a calculator, and sure enough, 4 minus 4 checks. It is a 0. When I plug it into the other one, again, I get 0 into the y equals negative 2 for the x plus 4. And negative 2 plus 4 is not 0. So, of course, that's no, which means the whole thing is a no. It has to work for both. And we're going to see why here when we graph them here at the bottom. Okay? All right, as I move on here, what I'd like you to do is press pause, use the 2 problems I did up here, just plug them into x and y, and tell me whether these are a yes or no. Again, press pause. You've got an x and y to plug into the x and y. You've got an x and y to plug into the x and y. Go through and see if they are a yes or no. Press pause now. All right, so I press 4 into the y equals 3 times 1 plus 1. That works. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 equals negative 1 plus 5. Also works. So that's a yes. Over here, see now, again, so when they're y equals, it can be yes or no, right? It can be either one. When they're like this, it could be yes or, well, let's see if this is a no. Let's plug it in. So I get 2 times 1 plus negative 2 equals 0. And that is a check. Yep, plug it in your calculator. 2 parentheses 1 plus negative 2. That'll give you 0. Over here, I've got negative 1 plus 2 times negative 2 equals 5. And if you plug this in, you're going to get negative 5 equals 5, which is not true. I'd rather have $5 than lose $5. These are not equal to each other. The answer is no. Simple as that. Okay? So that's the first part of the homework today. I'm going to kind of show you the homework as I'm going here. This 5-1A, the top 5 problems here, is just like what we just got done doing. Okay? And then we're going to go down to the next part. Well, in the homework, look how easy this is. Again, as you're doing this, you can have the homework, and you can see where the point of intersection is. Look right here. It's the point 2, 3. I'm doing problem 2A right here. 2, 3. This point right here is 2, 3. The point of intersection is the solution. So I put the intersection here, 2, 3, because that's the intersection. And then it says check your solution like in problem 1, right? Which means plug x into x and y into y. So I'm going to plug, this is again x and y. So I'm going to go 3 equals 2 times 2 minus 1. Yep. 3 equals a half times 2 plus 2. Well, half of 2 is 1 plus 2 is 3. Yep, they both work, and hence we have the right answer. Okay? You can do the other two. Okay? The rest of this is really about the next page. In fact, the next page of the homework is more of the same problems that I just talked about. Write the point of intersection at the top, and then write the equation of the line. Well, really, look how easy this is, right? Here's the intersection. Again, I'm doing this for you from the homework. Negative 1, negative 3. The equation for line A is a graph y equals in mx plus b form, right? We know that the y-intercept goes here, right? I know that this y-intercept is negative 2 right here, so that goes here. And the slope, which for this line, I put 2 dots and I count the rise up 2 over 1 is 2. I put a dot here and a dot here, and the rise is up 1 over 1. And that's my 2 equations. That's what you have to do on this next page. okay? Now we're getting into problems for the rest of it that ask you to graph, right? And hopefully you remember how to graph, and it kind of works back from what I was just saying, Aaron, just a second ago, is when I graph like this line, you know what, I'm going to grab a different colored pen here. And you start at the y-intercept, which again is this number right here, right? So if the y-intercept is 5, maybe I should write this. Slope blank y-int blank. Because if you could put 5 and negative 2 here, because remember the slope is always next to x, you start at the y-intercept at 5, right? And then your slope of negative 2 means negative 2 over 1. So down 2, we always go right 1. Down 2, right 1. And I'm going to keep going here. I'm going to put down 2, right 1 over and over again, because ultimately, I got to connect these dots a second. We're going to see it intersect with another line here at another point, okay? So for this one, the slope is 4, because that's the number next to x, which again is 4 over 1. The y-int is negative 1, because that's this number out here. So I always start at the y-int at negative 1. And I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and right 1, and lo and behold, look at that. We've got our point right here, which you can see is over 1, up 3. 1, 3. I could check it if I plug 1 in here. Negative 2 times 1 is 5, or is negative 2 plus 5 equals 3. Yep. 3 equals 4 times 1 minus 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. Yep, this works. That is our solution, because it is the point right there that they cross. Okay? This red pen kind of stinks. I hope you can see that. All right, let's try the next page of notes. So again, as we go through this, look at these next few problems. They're just like that. Okay? Now this one's a little bit different. In fact, let's go to the next page, and we'll see a problem like that in part B. Okay? So on the first line, you need to solve this for y. This is why we did all these problems before. And for this, all you got to do is get rid of the x term. That's all you have to do first. And what that gives me, these will cancel, y equals 6 minus x. And so my slope is the number next to x, which is negative 1 over 1. And my y-intercept is 6, because that's the other number. Once we have it in y equals form, we can just do that. I'm even going to go graph this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, put a dot. Down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. You get the idea here. I'm turning it sideways because I'm going to connect these dots. Okay. And then I'm going to graph the other one too. Well, how do I do that? Well, I got a minus 2x first, because again, I got to solve this for y. I get negative y equals 9 minus 2x. And of course, I got to divide everything by a negative 1 there. So I get y equals negative 9 plus 2x. So my slope is 2, and my y-intercept, I'm not writing it good, but you got it, is negative 9. So I'm going to go down to negative 9, put my y-intercept. And my slope of 2, again, that means 2 over 1. So up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1. And there it is, my point of intersection, right? So what is that point? Well, first of all, maybe I should connect my dots here. Wait a minute, I feel like I did something wrong here. It's right there. Sorry, it's right there. All right, so right there is the point 5, 1, right? Look, 5 plus 1 is 6, 10 minus 1 is 9. It does work. That's my solution, 5, 1. Okay? All right, so pause the video. Go try the other two graphs, okay? I'm going to do them pretty quick because I'm going to ask you to do this first on your own and not just copy it. So if you are just copying this without trying it on your own, you're probably going to have to press pause a few times to kind of catch up, okay? So the first line, again, pause the video, try it again. The first one is just like what we just got done with. You need to solve it for y. So if I minus 2x here, y equals 5 minus 2x. My slope is negative 2. My y-intercept is 5. So I'm going to go to 5 and put a dot and go down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, and so on, right? I'm going to keep doing it. There and there. So, boom. Okay. All right, get my other one in here. I'm going to minus the 3x. This one's going to be a little bit messier, so I wonder how many of you actually struggle with this. Negative 2y equals 4 minus 3x. And when I divide by negative 2 into everything, look what it does. Those cancel. A positive divided by a negative is a negative 2. A negative divided by a negative is a positive 3/2 x, which is fine, because we can go to negative 2 and go up 1, 2, 3, and over 2. And guess what? There's our other point. Oops, I didn't do a good job of going through it. But right there is the point 2, 1. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, the solution, okay? One more. This one's going to go kind of fast. X, I got here, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. You can see how this graph is going. The other graph, start at positive 4, go down 1 or right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. There's my connection right there at 3, 1 is my solution. And again, I could plug that in. 3 minus 2 equals 1, yep. Negative 3 plus 4 equals 1, yep, is the point of intersection. And that's what you need to do here. So as I go back to the homework, these 3 problems are more like the first one on the first page, okay? These 3 problems are the graphs like what I just got done with, okay? And on the back side, we got to do some just solving for y and then a couple of core story problems. So by solving for y, remember what that means. It's the same thing you just did on the other page. Do the opposite of the x. It's just like what we just got done with. 6y equals 18 plus 3x. And divide everything by 6. So I get y equals 3 plus 3/6, which is 1/2 x. And that's good enough. And I just did that one for you too. So your homework is going to be all 3 of these pages. But if you remember, again, I did that one for you. I did one on this page for you. And I did one on this page for you. So get your stuff done. Just a little under 12 minutes by the time this video is done. I'm pretty happy with that. The video shouldn't take you that long, and then you have the rest of the time to work on this in class. Really, if you pause this video when you're supposed to, it'll probably take you about 20 minutes to a half hour to do this video, and then it'll take you probably another half hour to 45 minutes to do your homework. So you could get all of this done with time to spare. Please don't mess around when I have a sub. That's the worst thing I want to come back to. Have a good day.